video, we'll look at two additional sociological approaches to the study of adult education: interactionism and critical theory. Both of these perspectives can be referred to as micro-level theories, as they are concerned with individuals and their interactions. During this video, please reflect on the following analysis questions. What is interactionism and critical theory? What are the goals of interactionism and critical theory? Who are the main theorists that contributed to interactionism and critical theory? And how is adult education described by interactionists and critical theorists? Symbolic interactionism, or interactionism for short, is based on the idea that human beings, as they interact with one another, give meanings to themselves, others, and the world around them. Individuals and society are inseparable, with each being created through social interaction and understood in terms of the other. In this view, there is no objective reality, but rather multiple realities depending on the experiences we bring to our interactions and our definition of the situation. Interactionism is based on the following premises. Humans act towards objects on the basis of the meaning these objects have for them. Meanings evolve from social interaction, and meanings are established and modified through an interpretive process. According to interactionist theory, our ability to reflect on our actions and relationships with others enables us to develop identity. Research based on interactionist theory helps us to understand how people define and give meaning to themselves, their actions, and the world around them. For the interactionist, society consists of organized and patterned interactions among individuals. Research by interactionists focus on easily observable face-to-face interactions rather than on macro-level structural relationships involving social institutions. The goal of interactionism is to understand social worlds from the inside, through the perspectives of the people who create, maintain, and change them. Unlike functionalists and conflict theorists, interactionists view culture and society from the bottom up, rather than from the top down. While the functionalist and conflict approaches were initiated in Europe, interactionism developed first in the United States. Major theorists of interactionism include Max Weber, Charles Horton Cooley, George Herbert Mead, and Herbert Blumer. Interactionists propose that our identity is shaped by social interaction, and that we develop our self-concept by observing how others interact with us and label us. By observing how others view us, we see a reflection of ourselves. As such, they feel that education plays a vital role in shaping the way students see reality and themselves. Interactionists limit their analysis of education to what they directly observe happening in the classroom. They focus on the interactions between students and teachers and between students, and look at how these interactions influence student performance, perceptions, and attitudes. From an adult education perspective, interactionist theory looks at how interactions may affect the performance of adults in the education system. They examine how the self-identity and behavior of adults may be determined or influenced by interaction, and how interactions may affect the adult's performance. The aim of critical theory is critiquing and changing society and culture. According to critical theory, society exists in a state of permanent inequity in which the dominant few benefit from the continuous marginalization of the many. The majority accepts this unequal state of affairs as normal and natural. Inequity is maintained through the widespread acceptance of dominant ideology. The goal of critical theory is to understand and then challenge this continuous reproduction of social, political, and economic domination. Critical theory evolved from a group of sociologists at the University of Frankfurt in Germany, known as the Frankfurt School, which included Theodor Adorno, Walter Benjamin, Erich Fromm, Jürgen Habermas, Max Horkheimer, Otto Kirchheimer, Leo Lowenthal, Herbert Marcuse, Franz Neumann, and Frederick Pollock. Unlike functionalist or conflict theories, critical theorists realize that there are many vantage points from which to study and understand social life, and that the relationship between education and society is always subject to change. According to critical theorists, the dominant ideology, which is the set of unquestioned beliefs, values, practices, and ideas, is disseminated via educational institutions. They view education as a process in which certain interests and agendas are pursued at the expense of others. Critical theory encourages students to become conscious of the social oppressions or dominations around them, and to reflect on the actions which may be required to become free from those oppressions or dominations. Critical theory sees educational institutions as potentially oppressive to individuals. Adult education in this context should transform individuals so that they can change society. The goal of adult education from a critical perspective is to help adults recognize and challenge the dominant ideology, foster liberation, unmask power, and overcome alienation. Please consider the following synthesis questions. What are the key features of interactionism and critical theory? What are the similarities and differences between interactionism and critical theory? How does interactionism and critical theory view education in general? And what is the purpose of adult education as viewed through an interactionism and critical theory perspective?